we were seeing about Coelenterata. In that we were seeing about polyp and medusa differences. So as I told you before, polyp and medusa, correct? So polyps are and medusa is sexual form of your Coelenterata. Okay, polyps are sessile. That means they cannot move. They are fixed in a place. These are free floating. You can find them floating in the water. Okay. Next, polyps are cylindrical in shape. Okay, and medusas are umbrella shaped. Okay, the example for polyp is your hydra, and the example for medusa is your Aurelia. So these are all some of the differences between polyps and medusas. Okay, so this is coming under my family called as Coelenterata. Okay, apart from this, what are the other features of Coelentrates? Is that Coelentrates, okay, they basically, as I told you, they exhibit tissue level organization. Okay, they exhibit radial symmetry. It's not bilateral. They exhibit radial symmetry. And coming to your germ layers, okay, it is diploblastic. That means it has got only ectoderm and endoderm, but mesoderm is not properly formed. Okay, so and they are acoelomates. So there is no proper coelom here, so they are called as acoelomates. Okay, absence of proper coelom. Okay, and the most important thing is that they have a special cells called as nematocyst. Nematocyst or stinging cells. So what is the function of these cells is that they are more like, see, how is a scorpion hits you? It's just like that. They have a cell like this. See, for example, see, they'll have something like this flagella. Okay, so this will be linked to the poisonous gland present here. Okay, so this what does it do is that it will sting. Okay, so it is called as, that stinging cell is called as nematocyst. Okay, or you will also call it as nematocyst or stinging cells or nidoblast. Nidoblast. Okay, so these cells are found, and that cells will secrete an enzyme which has got a light, which is a toxin. Okay, so that toxin, why is it that is true? It is a hypnotic enzyme. So as soon as this catches its prey and stinges, the prey becomes paralyzed and it cannot move. Later it will consume the prey. So for that it has got this nematocyst. Okay, here also you have very good set of examples. One is your freshwater polyp is called as hydra. Okay, as you know here, hydra is your freshwater polyp. Then your Adamsia Adamsia is a coelenterate with gas glands. So it will float on the water. That will lighten its body and it will enable the floating. Okay. Then your Aurelia is a type of medusa. Okay. Then Venus flower basket. Okay, Venus flower basket. So these are all some of the common names. Okay, so these are all some of the examples of your coelentrates. So the main points are that, see, if you see the porifera, it has got tissue, cellular, but here it's tissue. So there is no symmetry, asymmetrical. Here it is radial symmetrical. No, that's it. That is the only thing. After that, there's no points to be mentioned. Here it is diploblastic, okay, and acoelomate. So after that, we don't have any progression. So you were talking about some important cells present. Okay, one more thing. They have a mouth here, and the mouth here is called as hypostome. Over there we call it as opening or ostia. Here we call the mouth as hypostome. Okay. So this is all about your coelentrates. Okay. So coelenterata is actually it is a family with which the radial symmetry started. Before that, the organisms were all asymmetrical, but only after coelenterata the radial symmetry started. Okay. Next is that we are going to see about Ctenophora. So this is the family following your coelentrates. Okay, so this is your coelenterata. and this will be your Ctenophora. Okay. So if you see Coelenterata and Ctenophora, it will be almost similar except for one or two things. Okay. So Ctenophora also exhibits your tissue level organization. Okay. Then they also have radial symmetry. Only these two categories will have radial symmetry. All other groups exhibit bilateral symmetry. Okay. Yes. And they are considered as a link between diploblastic and triploblastic animals. Okay, because this is totally diploblastic. Here, the third layer started forming, so you cannot properly place them under triploblastic. So it's a link between diplo and triploblastic. Okay, they're also acoelomates. Okay, so now they have something called as comb plates or comb jellies, okay, which is nothing but the organism will be like this, but you will have a long plate kind of like this. Okay, so that is why they are called as comb jellies. That is why the name comb jellies came, and they do not have nematocyst. Here they have nematocyst, right? So here no nematocyst. So nematocyst is found only in coelentrates. So this organism will not have any nematocyst. Okay, and okay, fertilization is external. Fertilization is external, and development is indirect. Indirect in the sense, what is indirect development is that they will not have any larval stages. So that development is indirect. Sorry, they will have larval stages. See, from human you are getting human directly, there is no intermediate stages. So this is direct development. But indirect development is that you will have pupa, you will have larva, you will have caterpillar, so all these intermediate stages. So here it exhibits indirect development. The larva is called as sidipid larva. Sidipid larva. Okay, so the larva of this Ctenophora is called as sidipid larva. Okay, so they are called as comb jellies because they have long plates like this, like a comb. Okay, this is just for enabling the water current, for the water movement and locomotion. Okay, so yes, so this is all about your Ctenophora. Okay, the next family which we are going to see is nothing but Platyhelminthes. Okay, so if you see the Platyhelminthes family, so platy is nothing but flat. Helminthes is worms. So Platyhelminthes means flat worms. Okay, so Platyhelminthes is nothing but the flat worms. The worms are totally flat. Okay, so now Platyhelminthes, if you see, okay, from here starts the triploblastic. Okay, they are triploblastic organisms. Okay, so as I told you, this coelentrates are diploblastic. They are the connecting link between ctenophores are between diplo and triplo, and from here starts your triploblastic. Okay, and some more examples of your coelentrates is that Physalia. See, Adamsia is nothing but your sea anemone. Okay, so Adamsia, if you see, it is nothing but sea anemone, and Physalia will have the glass glands. It's called sea anemone. So this will exhibit mutualism. Sea anemone will be exhibiting mutualism with the hermit crab. Okay. So all these are some of the examples. Now from here starts your triploblastic. Okay. So then what else? Okay, symmetry is bilaterally symmetric. From here all organisms will exhibit only bilateral symmetry. I repeat, they are triploblastic, they are bilaterally symmetrical, and they are also acoelomates. Okay, so see, actually in Ctenophore and coelentrates, they will not say acoelomates because that itself is not considered. Only when you have triploblastic you can talk about coelomates. So here they don't have triploblastic itself. So you don't have to actually say they're acoelomates, okay, it is not required. But here you can blindly say because it is triploblastic, okay. So platyhelminthes, they mostly live as a endoparasites. That is, they live inside the body, okay. They have some specialized organs for the attachment. So I told you endoparasite. So they should have some extra mechanism like hooks and suckers. So this is for clinging on to your host. For example, if you take this liver fluke, okay, they'll have a big sucker here through which the sucker creates vacuum, and through this only it is stuck to the host cell, okay. So they have hooks and suckers. Then they are hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites. So hermaphrodites in the sense both male and female are present in the same organism. Okay, so they are hermaphrodites. Okay, so hermaphrodites is both male and female in the same organism. Okay. Next about platyhelminthes. Okay, some of the platyhelminthes like your planaria. Planaria will exhibit regeneration. So planaria will exhibit regeneration. So once the part of the though if the part of the body is gone, they will regrow it. So the best example is your planaria. And apart from that, some other examples are your Taenia solium, okay, fasciola or liver fluke. All these are examples, okay. If you see the Taenia solium, okay, the egg gets contaminated only by the contaminated fecal matter, okay. When that is coming in contact with the food only, this is spread, okay. So Taenia solium and fasciola, liver fluke, okay. So all these requires your intermediate host like your snail, pig, etc. So intermediate host means they need some other host. See, they just don't need one host. They need some other host apart from one to complete their life cycle. So that is called as intermediate host, okay. And then see, if you take in the platyhelminthes, triploblastic and bilateral, both starts from here only, okay. So platyhelminthes mostly are flatworms, and they cause some disturbances. See, teniasis, when it is infected by Taenia solium, the disease is called as teniasis, okay. See, it will upset the stomach because with the help of this sucker and hooks, they have small hooks like this. Some will have this rostrum kind of arrangement, so they'll have all these. So with this, they'll be attached to the body. So what happens when it is peeling? It will peel with a part of the host flesh also. So that is why also they cause disturbances in the digestion, okay, stomach upset, etc. So that is why, so most of them are only endoparasites, okay. So, though I told you there's hermaphrodites, so they reproduce sexually, okay. And the most important thing is that, okay, so see, platyhelminthes are here, they have a ladder-like nervous system. Ladder-like nervous system. So ladder-like nervous system is first found in, that means they'll have segments like this. So your nervous system will be like this. It will be in the shape of ladder, two things and two branches connecting, okay. So that is why you call it as ladder-like nervous system, okay. So that is all about your platyhelminthes.